And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Yesterday evening, of course, we did do a entertaining live stream as we broke the news that Keir Starmer's house had been set alight. Following that in the early hours of this morning, we did get confirmation, of course, that there was a counter-terrorism investigation, or counter-terrorism police had got involved in the investigation, and that actually three homes, or three pieces of property, three fires, were linked to Keir Starmer over the last sort of couple of weeks. Now, of course, we do have a bit of breaking news for you this morning, as it has been announced that a man has been arrested in contention with arson, or suspicion of arson, after the fires at these properties of Keir Starmer. As always, guys, we'll break down the story, go through what we currently know about this arrest, but as always, please do get involved in the live chat. We'll be taking your reaction a little bit later on, and do us a little favour, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We are closing in on 200,000 subscribers, which is incredible. But let's get into what we know so far with regard to this arrest. So a 21-year-old man has been arrested in the early hours of this morning in connection with a series of arson attacks linked to Keir Starmer. The suspect, who remains in custody, is under suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life in three different incidents. Police attended the scene after they were alerted by the London Fire Brigade to reports of a fire at a residential address on Monday, May 12th. Damage was caused to the property's entrance, but nobody was hurt. Officers from the Met's Counter-Terrorism Command are leading the investigation into this fire due to the property having connections with a high-profile public figure, that of course being Keir Starmer. The fire broke out at the Prime Minister's private home in Kentish Town, North London, in the early hours of Monday. The London Fire Brigade said it had been called to a small fire on Monday that was under control about 20 minutes later. Inquiries are ongoing to establish what caused it. The Prime Minister's official residence is Downing Street, of course. The investigation team are also considering two other incidents. The first, a small car fire on the same street as the Prime Minister's Kentish Town home at 3 a.m. on Thursday. The second fire occurred at the entrance of the property in Islington at 3 a.m. on Sunday. All three fires are being treated as suspicious at this time, and inquiries remain ongoing. On Monday, following the incident, Starmer thanked the emergency services for their response. His official spokesperson said it is unknown who was in the property when the fire started, with the Prime Minister declining to provide any further details. So there you go. That's probably the last, or maybe we'll do an update as to what the individual's motive was with regard to these fires. But yeah, that's all we know. 21-year-old man arrested, and again, it does look like he was involved in all three, but as stated, counter-terrorism police are leading the investigation into these fires on Keir Starmer's property. So yeah, that's a major update, of course, within this saga. But yeah, let's take a little bit of reaction. I mean, the live chat last night was absolutely popping, and the jokes had me cracking up. But as stated, guys, I always like to reiterate, I don't ever condone such violence nor arson offences. So even if you don't like anybody, don't go out there and set their property on fire. That's not the way things should be done. But let's have a little look and see if let's see what the live chat is all about today. Your enemy's enemy is your friend. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what political group, again, we don't know what the motive was for this individual, but the pro-Palestine mob in recent months, years, have staged protests outside Keir Starmer's gaff, and actually, they did shout shame on you, following his VE Day speech on Sunday, last Sunday that being. So again, there could be a bit of a correlation there, but I mean, Keir Starmer's attacked a lot of different political groups. I mean, again, it said, as stated, the media's wet dream will be the far right, the British patriots that have done it. But as stated, the history goes with the sort of pro-Palestine mob. But equally, the far left, the far right, that doesn't exist, and the centre, and the right, and the left don't seem to like Keir Starmer these days. So he's got enemies from all sides of the political spectrum by the looks of things. I think everyone's kind of unanimous that nobody really likes him. And still to this day, I don't know how many people are still voting for Labour. But regardless, it could be anyone on the political spectrum. You can't just narrow it down without the news and an update from the police. Let's have a little look here. Some more names. Well, yeah, that's another group as well, to be fair. Our dear Nero says, funny if the arsonist was trans. Yeah, that's another group that he's hacked recently. Whilst I do agree with that Supreme Court decision, that was a couple of weeks ago, of course. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of enemies these days. No one really likes him. Hello, good morning. Good morning to all of you guys as well. Very busy start today. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And Brian's going with lefty all day long. I mean, we probably won't know if it's a lefty, to be fair, but if it is someone that's a British patriot, someone that is on the right side of the political spectrum, right in both ways, then I'm sure that'll be front page news for weeks to come. Weeks to come. But again, we haven't got a face reveal or anything like that just yet. Zimbabwe here. Shout out. Shout out to you. Mr. Wright says, I laugh my head off as an illegal. How confused will Starmer be? He'll probably call them a self-loathing far-right African. I know, it's a weird one though, because you can't really put your finger on it. As I said, the media will want it to be the far right, but again, there's history from the far left have done these kind of things. So I can't quite put my finger on it just yet. Dawn Fall says, not named, suspect the usual then. Possibly. That's a good point there, Dawn. Definitely. Dubai here. Shout out to Dubai. Yeah, everyone watching from different areas. We've got Grumpy Sapper sat in Dubai, man, living life. Living it up as he watches chaos unfold within the United Kingdom at this moment in time. That's a good point, and that's probably what I'm going to finish off on with Craig's point. Regardless who did it, it is wrong. Whether we like him or hate him, this is wrong. Yeah, again, guys, just always say, whilst, again, a lot of people don't like Keir Starmer, I'm not a biggest fan at all. As I said, I do I make a lot of videos about him on a day-to-day basis, criticising him all of the time. But again, the power of our side of the movement at this moment in time, in terms of the right side, is that we're not violent. And again, we don't do this kind of stuff. So yeah, I would never ever condone an individual, any of you guys or anyone out there, to go and set fire to people's houses that you don't like, or cause them damage or cause any bodily harm or anything like that. That's not the right way to go about it. But yeah, good point there, Craig, and thank you for your comment. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream. Just a short one today, but we've got quite a lot of stuff coming up for you today. There's been some decent debates over the last sort of 24 hours as well, so I've got a golden one coming up for you a little bit later on. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next